So we will having a run through about our Motadata, one of our premium cybersecurity product, and we will explain about the complete unified product suite for the IT operations. So before moving into the session, I just want to highlight what are the agenda which we plan for today's session. So we'll have an introduction session, space we are explaining about Bulwark and their partnership. So we will explain about how Motadata solves for the modern IT challenges and IT operations. So we have our, two gentlemen joined from Motadata, Ankit, our regional manager, and also Mehak, our technical engineer. They will explain about the complete solution overview about the Motadata. And we can also having a complete case study, about the different use cases that we are going to explain about the Motadata. And on the end of our session, we are also assigned a separate Q&A session that you can shoot all your queries. You have any kind of clarifications you want to clear about Motadata, the licensing structure, and also the technical part. We can able to clear that. And followed by the presentation, we have a in-depth technical demo session conducted by Mehak. Okay. And I just want to thank more people, Mr. Asif, my manager for the KCF. So the technical engineer Mr. also joined for this webinar. So moving to the introduction part. So who are Bulwark? So Bulwark is actually one of the value-added distributor for the information security solution. And we are representing in this region for the last 21 years. And also we have a representation in India for the last 3 years. And we are established in the year of 1999. So we are almost celebrating our 21st year. And our Indian office started in 2017. And out of the last, 21 years of the journey, we're also representing about 22 plus technology vendors in terms of the cybersecurity. And in terms of the, business partners and in the regions of Middle East and India, we have all of total, we have around 700 plus partners in the total regions. And further to discuss, like the Bulwark has established an excellent track record delivering the world-class technology products and their complete excellent in the customer services. And also we are actually best of breed of technology vendors for the different kind of technology among the world. And we are offering an award-winning products with excellent services. And as a cybersecurity distributor, we are actually delivering the round to the globe value-added services to our the complete partner network among all the GCC regions as well as the Indian region. And we are actually working as an extended arm for our primary and premium vendors that we are representing into the complete regions. So we are also promoting our IT security products and solutions through these kind of channel communities. And we're not only representing and we are not only supporting customer service, we are also providing the dedicated, and also we have a complete marketing, and also we have a certified technical team to send these different technologies. And we in terms of Motadata, we have a dedicated sales, marketing, and technical team who is already certified under Motadata. So from here, I'm just handovering to the gentleman called So
thank you, Arobal. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for giving us the time and opportunity to present what Motadata is all about and our products and expertise. So this is Ankit Dave. I'm taking care of the sales aspect for Motadata for Middle East market. Along with me, my colleague has also joined, Mahak Goyal. He will, do the demonstration part for the solutions. So I'll first start off with the company overview, what Motadata is all about. When we established what are the kind of products that we are selling. So we are more than a decade-old organization. So it's more than 12 years now that we established. And as of now, we have presence in more than 25 countries that includes Middle East, GCC countries, Africa, SAARC, and Southeast Asia. Being a product organization, we have a workforce of more than 150 people. They are all adroit in their respective department. We have more than 250 channel partners. As we are a channel-driven organization, we work through our channel partners. And as of now, we have more than 25K customers. The segments that we serve are telecom, government, and enterprise verticals. So we have the product which not only fits technically, but commercially also it is viable to cater to both the segments, enterprise as well as the large scale, telcos and the service providers. As far as the awards and recognitions are concerned, so we are into the Gartner as a representative vendor for network automation and orchestration 2020. We have been, in the list of Deloitte Fast 50 organization. This is the third consecutive year that we have been into the list, and this time being 16th in the India and 34th in the APAC region. We have been recognized by IDC and Infotech Research Group as well as a notable vendor into the network monitoring space, and we have been given CIO Tech Brand Award as well in 2018. Now, coming to the verticals that we serve, so as I suggest, we have the client-based and all the different industry verticals for the enterprise-grade customers. Also, we have served from the government segment for all the statewide FTTX projects, smart city-based projects or surveillance-based projects, and we have served the clients from the internet service provider, managed service provider, or a data service provider segment as well. So we have served many BFSI customers, including United Arab Bank, Arabia Falcon Insurance. We have served the ISPs also. Do Telecom from Middle East region is our client. Mauritius Telecom from the Africa region is our client. Airtel, Idea, Vodafone have been using our solutions to monitor the infra. Also from the government aspect, there are many smart city-based projects which the Indian government has started. So we enjoy more than 65% market share, and through our unified monitoring solution and also the Aiops solution, they are monitoring the entire network infra, also managing the IT operations, the tickets and assets more effectively. Now, how Motadata solves modern IT challenges in the IT operations. So see, depending on the different organizations, they have specific needs, or we can say specific challenges. So there are different organizations, let's say if it's a BFSI organization or other organizations where they have distributed, branches, they have some legacy softwares which they have been using. There are having some dependency on the siloed systems, or there are also some dependency on the cloud-based applications that they would like to, get it integrated into the existing systems. So it's a blend of different kind of applications that they want to manage, also a blend of different infra that they want to manage. All put together, there is a chaos, like there is a vacuum that has been generated, and we need to fill in that with the offerings. So what we have come up with, so we are providing a unified monitoring solution. So everything, be it metric, log, and traces, you can see everything in a single dashboard, in a single platform. So it can be your network equipments, it can be your servers, it can be your VMwares, it can be your database or an application. You can see the health of entire network infra at a single location. Not only that, you can also see your logs and your flow monitoring within the same dashboard. Okay, and apart from that, we have set up an integration for the service management. So a service desk solution also would be integrated with our monitoring solution, so that the tickets can be automatically generated once any device going down or you set up anything. So these kind of different functionalities that we are providing, along with the unified monitoring solution, which also includes the infrastructure automation, IT service support automation, consolidate data for better insights, and in the newer version, which we are going to release, which is into the beta, we are also coming up with the anomaly detection. So into the coming slides, I'll throw some more light into it. So as far as the Motadata solution overview is concerned, so we have two major products. One is the ITL compliant service ops, which is the IT services management platform. So it's an integrated solution which is having the service desk, which is a ticketing solution, asset management and patch management, everything integrated within the single platform. So we kind of provide a bundled ISO file, which is having the application, the database and OS bundled into it. The second product that we are having is the unified network monitoring solution, which is also an integrated solution for not only the monitoring aspect or the performance monitoring, but also for the log and flow monitoring and network configuration management. Now the AIOps terminology is something that is into the beta right now, but as a partner, as a channel partner, we would like to make you aware about what we are coming up with. So soon into the near future, we'll come up with the Aiops functionality, which is the enhanced version of the current network monitoring tool that we are having. And we have added the AI and ML flavor into it so that, we have the network observability, network automation, anomaly detection, and forecasting also included in as part of the solution. So I'll first start with the Motadata Service Ops platform. So Motadata Service Ops platform is an integrated tool which is having all these major modules, be it help desk, service desk, asset management, or a patch management solution. Now these functionalities are included within a single platform, within a single solution. Based on the utility, customer can opt for different licensing. Like let's say for the help desk, it is based on the number of technicians. For asset, it is based on the number of assets, and for the patch, it is based on the number of endpoints for which the patching is required. But the client will get everything consolidated in the single platform or a single solution. Now you see the Motadata Service Ops platform has been designed by ITIL standard, and we have put in our deep learning framework for IT operation, through which we have make these AI enabled service ops solution. So you can see it is an AI enabled platform which is covering all the aspects of ticketing, asset, and patch together in the single solution, so that people can manage the processes, technology, everything very easily. So nowadays you can see there are different requests, there are different incidents coming into it. The operation timeout, the time, energy, and cost, it is increasing if your MTTR is increased. Okay, so if your mean time to respond is high, it will affect your operation, your time, also your energy. Using the ITOps solution like this, one can smoothen the IT operations, and you can see into the diagram there are different ways how the ticket can be generated, and they are like service desk solution to as a tool for the technicians to monitor the tickets, to manage the tickets. So there are more than one ways. There are 5 different ways to generate the ticket and to address it. So coming to the different modules that we are having, starting with the service desk. So service desk is a full-fledged ticketing solution wherein we are offering all the functionalities, including the incident and the request management, problem management, change management, knowledge management, service catalog. We also have project management into it. So here you can see different key features, including AI-based ticketing categories. So let's say you can categorize different tickets. Let's say if it is a service-related ticket, or it's an HR-related ticket, or an admin-related ticket. Okay, so different categories can be created, and in that way the tickets can be managed in a more effective manner. We also have ITIL based automation workflow. So you can set different workflow automation. You can also do set different service level agreements. So based on the service level agreements, you can monitor whether the tickets have been managed effectively, and if there is any escalation, what you have to do. So everything is embedded into the system. Apart from that, we also have AI-driven technical workload management. So we have both the options available. It can be manually assigned, or we have the algorithm to assign the tickets more effectively based on the workload which are the technicians are carrying. So for the manual assignment, we have the color-coded systems available, wherein we through the color code we indicate the load on the particular technicians, and we also have the algorithms to auto assign the tickets. Apart from that, we have the chatbot functionality, we have the board framework for the custom integration, and we also have the dynamic form rules for the service catalog. So you can create out of the box service catalogs, let's say for the leave, or application, or other requests which are common requests or incidents which are generating. So the requester can use the service catalog and in a more effective manner. So we have that provision of creating the service catalogs, and the tool is multilingual support. It can also support the Arabic language. The second module that we are having is the asset manager. So let's say if a client has also opted the asset manager, so he'll be getting all the functionalities of asset and the CMDB monitoring, and also the contract management, purchase management functionality is there. We have built in the remote desktop, that is the RDP functionality available with us. So that is our proprietary tool that we have created for the RDP feature. So with the asset manager, we can provide agent and agentless automated asset discovery. So all the IP-based assets can be automatically discovered through the asset management. Through the asset management, one can manage all the IT and non-IT assets. They can also manage the hardware and software asset management. So let's say for any endpoints, which is an IT asset, there are different softwares associated with it. So you can also do the software asset management, software metering, and all different functionalities are part of the asset management solution. As I told you, we have built-in multifunctional remote desktop facility available. So this is a part of the asset management that we are providing the feature. So unlike some other vendors, they charge separately for the RDP feature, but we have kind of make it embedded within the asset management solution itself. We also have the configuration management, as I said, CMDB, and we have the asset movement and gate pass. So if the asset is being passed from one uh, premises to other, so the respective asset manager will check and issue the gate pass. We have the barcode and QR code features available in the asset management as well. And we have the policy driven automated asset baselining. So you can create the asset baselining based on the different departments so that it can be checked for across the department for all the assets. You don't need to go one by one and check the asset. And that way it reduces the time. For the patch manager, we have the patch manager available for Windows and Linux based endpoints and also the servers. So it can scan, detect, analyze, and remediates the vulnerabilities across the different workstations. So as part of the patch manager functionality, we are giving automated endpoint scanning. So it scan and do the automated patch deployments. You can also do the initial testing for the patches on 2 to 3 endpoints workstations, and then you can roll out the patch into in the batch. So you can have the patch testing and approval workflow assigned for the patch manager. Also, we have the functionality to roll back the patch or installation of the patch. So if there is any patch you would like to roll back, so that is also available as part of the solution. Then we have patch compliance report available, cross-platform patching. So as of now, we have the patches for the Windows and Linux endpoints and servers, the Mac OS patches into roadmap, and soon we'll be having the Mac OS patches as well. And we also have the remote configuration set up via registry. This is mainly for about the Windows. Now coming to the Motadata AIOps. So this is something that we are sharing as a channel partner, what we are coming up with. Okay, as I told you, we have the existing solution already available with us, which is a unified network performance monitoring solution, and which is having that integrated log and flow monitoring functionality as well. So what we have done is we have since last 2 years or more than 2 years we have been working on this. This is an indigenous AIOps product that we have designed and developed. So there we are trying to leverage the AI and ML technologies, and we are coming up with the solution which is into the different orbit. So it will shift the curve into the different orbit. We'll be competing against the different verticals, but I would like to share few glances of it. This is still into the beta. We'll show you the beta demo of it, and soon it will be commercially available. So what is the AIOps? So Gartner started in 2016 and termed the AIOps as an algorithmic IT operations. So when we try and embed the AI and ML functionalities for the IT operations products, so that makes the AIOps terminology. And how the industry challenges can be resolved using the AI and ML AIOps product. So some of them are the disconnected nature of legacy monitoring solutions, managing the increased volume of alerts, constant need of delivering the best user experience, deliver actionable insight that directly impacts the business. So nowadays it is not only required to see the alerts on a real-time basis, but people also need to see if there is any anomaly happening. So before the actual alert is happening, before the actual threshold is reached, if people will come to know about it more in advance, they can plan it accordingly. So they can do the forecasting, they can plan the different areas, let's say vulnerability or the forecasting or the anomaly. So all these are covered in the AIOps product that includes, it's a one platform that you can see for anomaly detection, real user monitoring, predictive analytics, dynamic baselining, auto remediation, root cause analysis. Everything has been embedded into it. This is also a deep learning framework for Aiops. The same, DFIT, which is the patented framework for Motadata. So that is the same framework that we have used in the Aiops as well. So it gives full visibility into the hybrid network, including the app level performance. So that is for the application performance monitoring. So this will be part of our next release. Leverage the dependency mapping and remove the guesswork. Decrease the MTT and MTTR. So mean time to detect and mean time to respond, and make the contextual decisions with AI-driven correlation, analytics, and visualization. So the benefits of the observability at scale. So we are giving metric, log, and traces, everything at a single dashboard at a single location. So one doesn't need to go for disjointed different tools, one for maybe monitoring, one for the log, one for the flow, one for the traces. They can see everything, including the database application, network devices, containers, services, SD-WAN, storage, server, cloud, everything that they can see at a single dashboard. So the benefits are get context from all the events across the network, complete visibility across your IT stack, rapid investigation, troubleshooting and scale fast, and modern metrics, logs, and traffic analytics. So as part of the solution, infrastructure monitoring is one of the module. So this is a unified monitoring module through which, as I said, you can see all the KPIs of all the network infra at a single dashboard. The key features are we are giving agent-based and agentless monitoring, one agent for metrics, packets, and log, dependency mapping and correlation, intelligent alerting powered by AI, anomaly detection and baselining of data, and dynamic log passing and indexing, and scale to billions of metrics. So the solution has been designed in order to have more scalability. Plus, as I said, it is having the anomaly detected. So automatically through the algorithm, it will first fix the baseline of the data. Let's say maybe the server utilization of the CPU, or maybe the storage or the bandwidth utilization. So depending on the past data, it will do the baselining, and then it will automatically through the algorithm, it will generate the anomalies. So generally, if the CPU utilization is normally 50 to 60%, and if it hits 80%, it is something that an anomaly has been generated, which will be reported. Even though your alert is at 90% or 95%, you will still come to know these kind of anomalies which are being generated. Same goes with the storage devices also. Let's say you will come to know beforehand that alert happens with your storage, so that you can do the better forecasting to avoid any breakdown or any alert actually generated. Network observability. So it is having an overall observability of the network, not only from the KPIs of the network infra, but also from the log and flow. So here we are providing monitoring the metrics, traffic, and streaming and logs of the data, baselining on KPIs and traffic data, automated network topology mapping and analysis, in-depth dependency data mapping, AI-driven correlation, and built-in anomaly detection and forecasting, quicker RCA with cross-domain correlation. So as I said, with the network observability, you can see the anomaly for both network infra as well as the log. There is an automation in the topology mapping, so you can see the automatic topology being created, and you can see the mapping between the different devices. So all the devices are correlated with each other. Any device going down, so through the topology creation, you can see how are all the devices are connected, and if there is any break line between the devices and all. So everything you can manage through the network observability. As part of the solution, we also have the log analytics. So with the log analytics, we are providing log clustering in real-time basis, log pattern analytics across millions of logs, search, filter, and analyze logs on the fly, live trail to access any log in the real-time basis, custom log passing, app support, auto passing for network infra, cloud, and AI-based alerting to detect the anomaly on the log patterns. So with the log also, we are providing the anomaly detection, plus we are providing a provision to search the logs on a real-time basis. So let's say there are logs coming and you would like to see a particular keyword and search the logs related to the particular keyword, and then you do the troubleshooting on a real-time basis, you can do that. We'll give the custom log parsing app support. So, through the different parsers, you can write the script on your own. So if you are well versed with the PowerShell or other scripting technologies, you can write the script and use it for the log analytics. And we are also providing the auto parsing for network and infra. Different use cases for the logs are like automated data collection, data anomaly detection, predictive maintenance to reduce the downtime, increasing the efficiency in the log management, automating the root cause analysis of related issues, and performing closed loop remediation of known issues. So as I said, not only from the network infra point of view, but also from the log aspects, you can see the anomalies which will be detected and that will be notified well in advance before the actual alert happens, so through which people can monitor the network and the log more effectively. Not in this version, but from this is the 8.0 version we are talking about. But in 8.1 version, we are also come up with the application level of monitoring. Now, few of our clients. So we have clients across the different industries, including BFSI, service provider, education. Some of them are like United Arab Bank, Arabia Falcon Insurance are, one of the client example from the BFSI sector. From the healthcare sector, we have Emirates Healthcare. From the education sector, we have Khawarizmi International College, Al Karama School as a client. From the semi-government and government organization, we have Abu Dhabi Sport Council, which is also called the Zayed Sports City in Abu Dhabi. They are our client. From the hospitality industry, we have Zayan Urai Resort as our client. And we also have one of the government entity from Bahrain using our service desk solution. From the service provider, we have Do Telecom as our client using our solution to monitor their infra. Then we have Molaja also as part of our client. And we have Rua Al Madina Holdings from Saudi, who is who are responsible to have the development of all the pilgrimage infrastructure. So it's one of the entity, one of the body governed by the Saudi authorities. So they are also using our help desk solution. So I guess first we can move to the demonstration part. So my colleague Mahek will take care of the demonstration. We will show you the ServiceOps product and also a glance of the Aiops, how it looks. It's still into the beta version, but we will kind of show you that. And after that, we'll take up the question and answer session.
Thank you, Ankit, for the presentation. First of all, a very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Mahek Goel. So I'm working as a lead pre-sales at Motadata, handling the entire pre-sales activity for the global market. So now we'll have the live demonstration of both of the products which we talked about in the presentation. So the Service Ops and the AI Ops. So first we'll have a quick glance of the Service Ops. What are the USPs, how the product looks like, and what all modules will be covered. And same, we'll see the for the AI Ops as well. Okay. So starting with the Service Ops. So Service Ops is an ITSM platform which we have made as per the ITL guidelines, and the tool is being verified for 6 of the processes. Okay. So this ITSM platform includes various sections in it. So we have help desk, we have service desk, we have asset management, and the patch management. Okay. So starting for the help desk or the service desk section, there are 2 participants of the product, the end users and the technicians. So end users are the one who will be raising a ticket for any issue they are having. If they want to seek any services from the IT department, they'll raise a service request for that, and they'll have the entire knowledge base sections, chatbot available at their portal site. So first I'll be logging here as an end user. So once any user login into the system, this is the interface which they're going to see here. Okay. Okay, so if a user wants to raise a ticket, they can go to this create incident and this type of form will be there. Okay, now this form is highly customizable. So if a user wants to raise a ticket, they can put the subject, they can put the description, they can select the categories which are customizable as well. So if you are having any specific technicians for specific issues, so through the workflows, we can route the ticket to the most appropriate technicians. Now, the best part is that we have this service desk, asset, and the patch management at the same platform. So all the modules are correlated. So users can also link assets. They can put attachments with the ticket they are raising. So the technician will have an idea which asset is exactly having the issue. And when we go to that asset history, we can check what were the past tickets that were raised for a particular asset. Okay. Now, based on the keywords user are putting in the subject box, system also gives suggestions of the related articles and FAQs. So which users can refer them. And in case if the solution is already there in the system, users might not raise an unnecessary ticket for such issues, which saves time for both end users and technicians. Okay. So that's how the users will be raising a ticket from the portal. Now, there are multiple ways by which users can raise a ticket from the system. So first, they can log in over the web portal and can raise a ticket. The second option is the mobile application. So users have their own login over the mobile app, which they can use it to raise a particular issue or a ticket. The third option is email to ticket functionality, where we can configure the support mail ID in the system, and any user sending an email to that mail ID, it will be converted to a ticket. Okay. We can also integrate third-party systems where third-party systems can raise a ticket to the Motadata. So let's take any use case here where any monitoring solution can also raise a ticket in the Motadata ITSM platform. So where we have out-of-the-box integration available between our Aiops and ServiceOps platform. So for any alarms getting generated over Aiops platform, it will auto raise a ticket in the ticketing system. Okay. So these are the multiple ways by which a ticket can be raised in the system. Now the users will have the entire visibility of the ticket which they have raised in the past. Okay. So what is the current status? If they want to put some comments back to the technician, they can put it from the system itself. Okay. Now users can also raise a request from the portal. Now service requests are different from the incident tickets. So these are some specified services which IT has to offer to all the end users. So if any employer wants laptop, any employer wants software access or an application access or a software license. So for all these services, technicians can create a specific form. Okay, and for each form, they can put some custom fields which they want users to fill in order to request for those particular services. Now this in this platform, we can create n number of services, and for each service, we can create custom forms and custom fields which user can fill in order to request for those services. And once it is filled and submitted by the user, it will be raised as a service ticket to the technician, which they can provide those services to the users. Okay. Now we also have this chat bot available for the end users. So for auto replying to some of the queries of the end users, if they want to raise a ticket through chat bot, so they can also raise a ticket to the chat bot in the system. Now entire KB section will also be available for the end users, so they can refer the articles and FAQs which are being published by the technicians. Okay. Now users can also reset the AD password, that is AD self-service portal is also available here for the users in case if they wish to reset the AD password, that is also possible here. Now whatever activities that we are seeing on this web portal can be achieved through the mobile application as well. So like raising a ticket, accessing KB articles. So it will be very handy for users to raise a ticket or raise a service request and access the KB articles. Okay. And whatever updates for a ticket are there, they will be notified via emails, via SMS, via mobile app push notifications. So users are updated for whatever updates are being provided by the technicians on the ongoing tickets. So that's about the end user side portal. Moving on to the technician portal. Once any technician log in into the system, they'll see this home screen dashboard. Now this dashboard gives the entire visibility, like what all activities are going over the system right now. Okay, so here we can see the total 195 overdue tickets are there, 262 open tickets are there, tickets by the status wise. Now this dashboard is clickable. If I click on a particular metric, it will redirect to me those particular tickets. Okay, now each technician can have their own personal dashboard where they can put shortcuts like my open tickets, my open task, so they can start working on the tickets and tasks which are assigned to them as soon as they log into the system. Now over the same dashboard, since it is unified dashboard, we can see the entire asset details, like what assets we are having location wise, maybe OS wise, and we can see the patch details as well, like how many machines are critical, how many are the missing patches right now, like what are the critical patches missing, what are the important patches missing right now. We can see the health status of the assets as well. Yeah. Now these dashboards are customizable. We can add as many as widgets we want to add here in these dashboards. We provide standard widgets out of the box, but we can always customize and create new KPIs and widgets in the system depending upon the different modules that we are having. So multiple dashboards can also be created, and we can set any of the dashboard as the default dashboard here. So for all the modules, we can create custom KPIs and widgets here. Okay. Now, once the tickets are raised by the end user, now if you want to assign those tickets to the respective technicians, so broadly, we can assign it by two ways. First is the manual way of assigning a ticket, and second is the automatic way of assigning a ticket. So in the manual assignment, we can click on the assignment option, and a drop-down list of all the technicians will be there. And this drop-down list will tell us about the workload as well of the technician. So each technician has been color coded here like red, yellow, and green. So which is calculating the workload they are having. So system calculates this workload based on the number of tickets they are already working upon, the priority of the tickets. It also considers the SLAs. So depending upon all these algorithms, I didn't associate a workload with the technician. So we can assign the tickets to the technician which are quite available right now. So if I want to automate this, we can enable smart balance in the backend. So smart balance will automatically identify the workload on the technician, will assign a ticket based on their workload. If we are having different technician group, let's suppose we have a server group, database group, or a network group, and if a server ticket is raised in the system, okay, then in that case, it will identify the workload among the server group and assign the ticket to the most appropriate technician among their server group. So technician grouping can also be done here in the system. Now we also have these workflows here in the system. Now in the workflows, we can run both the event-based workflows as well as the periodic workflows. So event-based are workflows which are triggered when a certain events are matched at a particular event and a particular condition. So periodic workflows are run at a frequent interval. Okay. So if we take an example of the event-based workflow, so here we can define an event like if a new ticket is getting created, this is an event. We can define conditions here like if ticket category is servers and priority is high. So we can define as many as conditions we want here with and the or operators. So all the ticket fields can be act as a condition here. Even if we are creating any custom fields with the ticket, that can also be associated as a condition here. Now, once this condition is achieved, then what actions we want. So assigning it to, let's suppose, server group. And if you want to assign it to some specific technician, we can put that name as well. So it's just not limited to assigning of tickets. We can do a lot of other actions like if we want to maybe send an email, send an SMS, we want to auto update some tickets fields, we can do that. Even we can call the APIs of third-party system directly from the system itself. Okay, we can call the APIs and update some data over the third-party systems. We can execute the plugins here. So in the plugin execution, we can automate certain tasks here. So let's suppose some user requested to create a user over Office 365. So to do that automation, we can execute a plugin, Office 365 user plugin, which will create a user for that particular technician. Okay, so these plugins are customizable based on the use cases. We can create different plugins that will help in automating the task. Okay. Now we can define complex workflows here, like if this condition is achieved, then what actions we want. If other conditions are achieved, then what actions we want. Okay. So this workflow is a very powerful tool in the system which helps in automating a lot of the manual tasks that IT administrator perform on a daily basis. Okay. Now we also have this SLAs in the place. So SLAs are the service level agreement where we can define for a particular type of ticket what should be the response time and the resolution time. Now, based on this SLAs, we can calculate the technician performance. We can also calculate like how many tickets are SLA violated or not. So we can all calculate the entire system performance as well. Okay. So here again, based on the different conditions, we can create different SLAs here. So like for a high priority ticket, if we have a response time of 1 hour, if ticket is not responded in 1 hour, then what escalations we want. So we can trigger those automatic escalations from the system. So maybe we want to send an escalation email here. Okay. So a lot of actions are possible here that we can execute from the system. Okay. Same way we can put the resolution time as well. So if the resolution time is, let's suppose, 3 hours, and if ticket is not resolved in 3 hours, then what escalations we want here. So maybe assigning it to some senior technician or sending an email to IT manager. So these type of actions can be triggered here by the system. Okay. So SLAs and OLAs both are supported here. That is, operation level agreement is also supported. That is the SLAs among the teams. We can also automate the workflow process in the system. So again, by defining certain conditions, like for some critical tickets, we need an approval before technician finally closes or resolves a particular ticket. So in that case, we can directly send an approval request from the system. We don't have to go and ask manual approval every time. Based on the conditions like locations, departments, we can run the approval process here. So here we can select the approver's name. In case of some service request, we can directly select the managers or the department heads. So to provide this service to the users, who should be the approver? So we can directly select the managers, where this system will be synced with the AD. So over the AD, we get the entire user details, their manager details, and that will be automated by the system for the approval process. So here, multiple hierarchy-wise approvals we can also take in the system. So like at first level, who should approve? At second level, who should approve the request? Okay. Now, moving on to the tickets. So first of all, these are all the different modules we have: request management, problem, change, release. So these are all the modules that were built as per the ITL processes. Okay. So moving on to the request section here. So first of all, we'll have this global search bar at the top. So in this global search bar, we can apply quick filters to easily scroll among a particular type of tickets. So if I put filters like status ongoing, so these status are also customizable. Everything can be customized over the UI itself at the admin panel. That we'll see a quick glimpse as well. So if I want to do some maybe keyword search, so I can put the keywords as well. So let's take an example here, like printer. Okay, so all the tickets matching those filters will be listed here. We can save this filter and that will be listed here. So we can quickly apply those filters and drill down to those particular type of tickets. So this is how a ticket looks like once a ticket is raised by the end users. So technicians can see all the details, like they can see the end user details. Entire user details will be available. What are the past tickets raised by a user, the assets that are assigned to them. Okay, we can see the entire audit trail of the ticket, the current status of the tickets, who is working on this ticket right now. The technician can perform all the tasks over the tickets, like they can reply the requesters, they can collab with the technicians, they can provide solutions and diagnosis. So in the solutions, they can put solutions from existing KB articles, they can put attachments here. Okay. We can also relate among the tickets. So if the similar tickets are raised by multiple users, so we can add relation among the tickets. So the technician will have an idea if they work and close these tickets, the other tickets can also be resolved. So same tickets can be related with the problem and the change as well. So if they identify that a change to be implemented and that to be linked with an incident, so we can create a change ticket, and that change ticket can be linked with an incident ticket here. So this change is again as per the ITL process, where the change will go to this proper flow. And once the change is closed, then only we can also close the related incident tickets. We can also link the assets, like for what exactly asset is having that faulty. We can also track the entire status, transition, assignment, transition. So if ticket went through multiple status, so in what status, how much time the ticket spent, we can calculate that. And same goes for the assignment. If multiple technicians worked on this ticket, which technician has put how much of the efforts, we can track that by the system. We can also ask for the feedback from the end users after the ticket is closed. That is also possible here. Coming back, we have all these customizations, fields, forms, categories customizable for all the modules, that is request, problem, change, everything is just drag and drop. So whatever extra fields we want to create, we just have to drag and drop those particular fields, and the fields can be customized for every module. So that's an overview about the service desk part. Moving on to the asset management. So definitely there are a lot more things which can't be covered in a single session. So moving on to the asset management, here we can manage both IT assets and the non-IT asset at the same platform. Okay. So for IT assets, we can discover various type of assets like your laptops, desktops, servers, networking devices, your VM environment. So we can track the entire inventory over here. Okay. So let's suppose this is one of the Windows asset which has been discovered here. So for laptops, desktop servers, we can do the discovery by agent way of discovering. Second is the agentless way of discovery. So in the agent, we'll be installing the agent, and that machine gets discovered. For the agentless, we can scan the network over different protocols like WMI, SSH, SNMP, and all the devices that are there can be discovered and added in the system. So this is a particular Windows machine where once it is added, we can see the entire hardware configuration, what is the OS details, the OS, the product key, the license key, if it is licensed or not, the BIOS information, the RAM details. So all the details in terms of the hardware will be fetched automatically. If there are any pointing devices connected, that can also be fetched here. Okay, we can see all the software installed in a particular machine. So these are the list of software. So this will also be fetched by the system. Okay. We can also track the entire user details. We can also track the entire history of the assets. So what are the change that has been identified on the system? So system will detect all the hardware changes, software changes. So if user are installing or installing the software, that will be tracked. If users are, someone has changed the RAM or hard disk component, in the next scanning, if it is detected, it will be listed here. And same, the IT administrator will be notified for that over emails, SMS, or via multiple ways like mobile apps as well. Okay. With the assets, we can also assign barcodes and the QR codes. So once we are assigning the barcodes, we can print them, and through our mobile application, the technicians can scan those barcodes, and the details that we are seeing on the web portal can be viewed over the mobile application. So assets, once they are discovered with agent, we can also take the remote desktop here. So with the remote desktop, the technicians can do audio calling, video calling, file sharing with the end users. Okay. Even if you want to incorporate some custom fields with the asset, we can always add custom fields also with the assets. So if you want to add some extra fields with the information with the assets, then we can do it from the admin panel. So all the other information like location, department, IP address can be tracked by the system here. So system will maintain all the hardware inventory, software inventory, even if there is non-IT inventory also. So like laptop chargers, LAN cables, any furnitures, if we want to manage, we can add them here as well. So we can add them via CSV import, via the manual entry in the system. We also have this one of the nice feature which I would like to talk about is a software metering here. So in the software metering, we can track how much time a software was used and when it was last used. So it is useful when we are having some paid softwares in the organization. Okay, so like there are some software which we are paying for them. So if you want to track like if users are really using them or not. So in that case, we can configure a meter. And once we configure a meter, system will track how much time it was used on a particular date. Okay, so user-wise, we can take out this information, and based on that, we can take decision if a software is useful to the organization or not, which will save the cost. If it is not very useful, we can decommission the license. So yeah, so these are the major things that will be covered as part of the asset management. We can also maintain contracts, purchase orders, and that can be linked with the assets. So the entire information for a particular asset, like they starting from the day of the procurement to the end of its life, will be maintained at a single place over a single tab. Okay. Now the third component we have is the patches. So once we discover the assets through agent, we also have the system will also identify the missing patches. Currently, we are supporting patch management for Windows and Linux-based machines. So like these are all the computers which are eligible for patching. And once we go inside any of the machine, it will show like what are the installed patches, missing patches on a particular machine. For the missing patches, we can directly install them from centrally from the console. And once we are installing it, a deployment request will be there where we can schedule the patching as well. We can do the installing and uninstalling of the patches. Both are supported here. If this single patch is missing on multiple machines, the system will show if any other machines are there or not. And based on that, we can deploy the same patch to the multiple machines. We can also select the policies here. So in the policy, we can define how we want to deploy a particular patch, like on a system startup time or a next in cycle, whether we want to reboot, shut down, or do nothing after deploying the patch. Okay. So multiple policies can be defined based on the type of patch and for the machines we are applying the patch on. Okay. And that's how the patches will be deployed on all the machines centrally. We can do the automatic patch deployment and the patch testing as well. So if before deploying to the entire network, a particular patch you want to test on some group of machines, we can create a patch test request where system will test the patch on some specific group of machines, and after that only patch will be approved for other systems in the network. So we can create a notice period of observing period of, let's suppose, around 3 days or 2 days. So until those days, if no issues are identified, they'll be auto approved for other machines to be patched. Same way, we can create the automatic patch deployment request, where if there are some critical machines are there, or where we want to automatically deploy the patches as soon as they are identified. We don't want a manual intervention. So for any critical or important patch here in this case is I find missing on any of the critical machines that we select here, system will do the automatic patch deployment for them. So this that's how we can also automate the patch deployment for the machines. Now we can also do the package deployment here for the systems. So in the package deployment, we can create exe files, MSI, MSP files, and those files so we have this package deployment here where we can create packages. In the packages, we can create MSI, MSP package, exe package, and once we upload the exe files, a package will be created and that can be deployed on all the machines. Okay, similar to the way we deploy the patches. For all the data that are getting generated in the system, we can take out custom reports. We provide standard report after the box for assets, for patch. We can have those reports available in the system. We can view the reports in different formats, like PDF, Excel, CSV, or Word formats. We can include graphs in the reports. We can customize the reports here in the system. We can also schedule them. So in the customization, first of all, we can select the fields that we want to see in the report. So if you want to see a different module-wise report, we can select the modules here. We can select the columns that we want to see in the reports, what charts you want to see in the reports. If we want to see specific department data or location data, we can apply those filters here as well. And the report scheduling is also possible, where system will send to the mail IDs automatically on a periodic basis. So that's about the service ops part here. Now we'll quickly move on to the Aiops platform, where we'll see how the system helps in monitoring the infrastructure with AI and ML capabilities. So this is the Motadata Aiops platform here. Now, first of all, once any administrator log into the system, they'll see this home screen dashboard. Now, there can be multiple dashboards, like this is a dashboard for our routers. We can have dashboards available for, let's suppose we want to do it for databases. Then we can create those dashboards as well. Multiple custom dashboards can be created here in the system, which gives an entire visibility of the different set of devices that are being monitored in the system. Okay. Now, for this Aiops platform, we can do the performance monitoring of the infrastructure. So when we talk about infrastructure, all the components, that is network devices, servers, applications, databases, URLs, virtual environment, cloud environment, all this can be monitored at a single place. Now, for all this environment, we can also do the log monitoring as well. So log can be collected and they'll be analyzed on the meaningful dashboards here. We also have the flow monitoring available, where different flows like net flow, S flow, J flow, all these flows are supported. And once we have all this data available, then we can have AI and ML capabilities on top of that, which helps in identifying anomaly detection, forecasting. All this will be available. So once we add the devices here in the system, that's how the system looks like. So these are the different servers that we have added here. So this is a particular Windows server being monitored here. Now for monitoring of servers, let's suppose a Windows server or Linux server, we can do it by agent as well as agentless. Both ways are supported here. So for agentless, we are supporting various protocols here. So we support PowerShell for Windows, SSH for Linux, JDBC for database, JMX for applications, HTTP and HTTPS for URLs. We can consume various APIs to monitor the cloud environment or the virtual environment. Okay. So this is a particular Windows server being monitored here. As you can see, once we install the agent, we can monitor the entire database that are running on that particular, or the services running on that particular server as well. So this is a server being monitored where we can see the CPU utilization, the memory utilization, disk, uh, so different partition-wide disk utilization, memory details, CPU details, all these are being monitored here by the system. Okay, all the running processes are being monitored here. We can also have this metric explorer where we can just drag and drop the particular fields that we want to see, and it will give you the entire details like maximum, minimum, or the average. Like in this case, it talks about the latency. Okay, so all the servers and databases can be monitored. Same way we can monitor the entire networking devices like routers, switches, firewalls. All this can be monitored here. Even if we are having some wireless network, some access points are there, they'll be monitored here. So this is the interfaces, disk, CPU, memory, all these are being monitored here by the system. So if you are having a wireless network, we can monitor the wireless network as well, where it will show like what all access points you are having, the clients that are connected, and for the clients which are in the good signal strength, in the bad or in the moderate signal strength. Okay. If we are having some cloud infrastructure, we are having different services of AWS, Azure, Office 365. We can monitor all those services as well. So here, let's suppose we are having some EC2 services. So we can monitor the EC2 instances as well by this system. Even if we are having some Office 365 services, so we can monitor those services as well in the system. Sorry. Here in the Microsoft Teams, we can check like how many calls, messages are there. Okay. All the virtualization environment, VMware, ESXi servers, clusters, Hyper-V clusters, we can monitor them, where it will monitor the guest and the host both at the same platform. Okay. So all this performance monitoring will be available, and we also have this log monitoring at the same platform. So once we start collecting the logs, all the logs will be listed here in the system. So like these are the Linux logs which are being monitored here. So we can monitor audit logs, events logs, sys logs, even if any custom logs are also there, that will be monitored by the system. So these are the logs which are being captured and they are getting parsed by the system. We can also view surrounding events. So for a particular log entry at that particular moment, what are the parallel logs that were generated? So that helps in easy root cause analysis for any particular log entry that are being traced by the system. And for any custom application, if you want to monitor the custom logs, we can create the parser on ad hoc basis. We don't require any backend development for that. We can do the entire custom parser development at the UI itself. Okay, so these are all the parallel logs for that particular log entry. We can also have this live trail for the different devices. So once we select the sources from which we want to see the live trail of the logs, we can select the sources here, and the system will start capturing the live logs here in the system. If we want to see parallel logs from two different sources or from multiple sources, we can split the screen. We can again select the sources here, and the system will start capturing the logs from those multiple sources. We can do the keyword search as well here. So if I want to search for a particular words entering the logs, I can do that here as well. So if any related keywords will be there, that will be identified. So this log monitoring will be there. Now topologies can also be created here for the system for the different infrastructure that we have added here. So if we had added cloud infrastructure, so that's how the topologies will be created for your network, for your cloud network, even for your virtualization environment. So how devices are connecting among themselves for the EC2 services, what are different instances being created, all this can be traced here. Now, coming to the AI and ML part. So once we start having the performance data in the system, we can also have the AI and ML capabilities on top of that. So if I talk about, let's suppose we take for in Windows Server here. Okay. So if I want to calculate the anomalies for CPU utilization, then I can click on anomaly here. Now it identifies the data nodes. So system first of all identifies the trend of a CPU utilization for a particular server, and it baselines that particular trend. And based on that, it identifies like what are the anomalies that have been identified. And based on that, we can have the anomaly alerts as well for the different metrics that we are monitoring here. Same goes for the forecasting also. So in this case, if we take about the disk utilization part, if I want to do the forecasting on the disk utilization, right? Then we can click on forecasting. Now, based on the previous trend of growth of the disk utilization, it identifies like what will be the future disk that will be required and how much of the disk will be utilized in the future. So based on that, we can optimize our resources. Okay, so it calculates minimum, maximum, or the average values. So that's how we can calculate the anomalies and forecasting based on the previous trends of the servers or the different devices that are being monitored. The system understand the previous behaviors of the different devices that we are monitoring here. Okay. And all the backend functionalities are available here. Like if I want to do some remediations over the devices, so here in this particular system, we can do some script execution. We can run the different type of scripts. We can run PowerShell scripts. So we can run SSL scripts as part of the remediations. We can run the Python scripts or the Go scripts as well as part of the remediation. So if certain alerts are generated and as part of the action, what scripts we want to execute, we can select that over the UI itself, and that will be executed over the devices. Okay. And all the alert policies can also be defined here in the system. So if I want to if I want to define any alert policies here, we can define all the alert policies in the system. Based on that, if certain thresholds are being identified or breached, then system will notify the users over emails, SMS, over the UI alerts in the system. So yeah, that's all I would like to highlight about the particular service ops and Aiops, since we have the limitations in the time period frame. If required, we can always have one-to-one sessions.
So I can see the questions. We'll take it one by one. Okay. So the first question from Tahir is how the AIOps licensed. So Tahir, AIOps, even though it's an integrated tool wherein we are providing infra monitoring, log monitoring, and flow monitoring, the licenses is very well based on the utilization. So for the network infra monitoring, it is based on the per device license. Okay. So we are giving everything as like a unified network monitoring solution. So if the client has the blend of license, they can use it for either network equipments or database or server or VMware or application monitoring or database monitoring. So unlike the other vendors, we are not having modular approach wherein the network equipments monitoring is a different module, database and application monitoring is different, or a server monitoring is different. So they can purchase the license. It is a device-based license, and they can utilize it the way they would like to monitor among the network infra that they are having. Okay, it's not a sensor-based license, by the way. It's a device-based license. So one device, one license, let's say one switch, one license, and still we provide all the KPIs of that particular device. So this is for the network infra. When it comes to log and flow monitoring, the license is based on the per GB per day data utilization. So let's say if they have a utilization of 5 GB per day or a 10 GB per day, so accordingly, they can opt for the license. The second one is from Anish. So any limitations on network vendors supported? No. So we have covered all the vendors. It's a plugin driven architecture that we have. And we have out of the box plugins available for all the leading vendors and make and model of the products. tomorrow, let's say if there is any new product coming into the market from any vendor, we'll just create a plugin quickly and accommodate the product to be monitored in our solution. So we have a vendor agnostic product. So it doesn't really matter. From Salim Khan, we have any customer from KSA government? So yeah, one of the entity from the KSA government who is responsible for development of pilgrimage infrastructure, Rua Al Madina Holdings. They are our customer. They are using our ticketing and asset management solution. Shakir M, the question is service ops, AIOps are from same dashboard? No. As you have seen the demo, service ops is altogether a different product. That is an integrated solution for the ticketing, asset and patch. Okay. So that is one product, one dashboard. AIOps is a different product, which is having the integrated modules of the network infra, log monitoring and flow monitoring. From Ali A, periodic workflow creation possible in service ops. Mahek, would you like to answer?
Yes, Ankit. So definitely we can create periodic workflows as well as event workflows. Both are possible in the service ops and they are highly customizable. So we can create a number of custom workflows, be it periodic and event workflows for all the modules, that is request, problem, change, release, asset. All these modules we can create the workflows, periodic and event workflows.
All right, thank you. Again from Vikas, this question is pre-customizable workflow.
Yes, so the workflows are part, we can say a feature of the service desk. So we have a license for the service desk, but the customizable workflows are free. We can create as many workflows we want here in the system. There is no limitations on that.
All right, from Anish, we have how the ticketing system is licensed. Okay, so for the service ops, the ticketing system is licensed based on the number of technicians. There can be n number of requesters. There can be n number of requests. It is licensed based on the number of technicians who are going to handle the ticket. Let me also share the licensing policy for the asset management and patch management. For the asset management, it is based on the number of IT assets, and for the patch management, it is based on the number of endpoints. Okay. Okay. Then from Tahir, we have reports in ticketing system. Yes, we have. Mahek, would you like to throw some light on reports?
Yes, we have reports in the ticketing system. So standard reports are already incorporated in the system, but we can always create custom reports in the system based on the different parameters like locations, departments, technician group wise. We can always customize the reports and schedule the reports here in the system, and there is no limitations on the reports.
Then from complete. Go ahead.
Okay, so if we go to the other question is from Abdul, where they're asking, is it possible to enable unused network devices? Is it possible to enable unused? Okay, so we have a upcoming module in the system which we call as a network configuration management. Okay, so we can do certain actions over the network devices. Like if we want to take the configuration backup, we want to execute some scripts over the network devices, we want to take the SSH access, that is possible as part of the network configuration management module in the system. So apart from it, we don't control the network devices. We can execute some scripts over the network devices over the SSH. Yes. So other question is from Abu, where they are asking if asset lifecycle management is there. Definitely, asset lifecycle management is part of the service ops, where entire asset lifecycle from the day of the procurement to the end of its life can be managed at a single platform with multiple modules like asset, purchase, contract management in the system. Other question is from Ali, where they're asking how much time required to complete the complete solution. Okay, so if we talk about the demonstration, we take generally around 45 minutes to 1 hour for each solution to have a detailed demo, where where the clients can have the higher level visibility of how that system is working and what all features are there. So the last question is from Ali again, where they're asking what are the prerequisites arranged before implementations. Okay, so we have so before the project goes to the implementation, we have our implementation team where we shared the entire prerequisite docs for based on the system, whether it is a service ops implementation or a Aiops implementation. So we where as part of the implementations, we suggest all the hardwares that will be required, what are the ports to be enabled, and we gather the information that to be configured in the implementation. So we have a docs which we can share it across, and once we get that information, then the implementation process can be smooth. Yes, Ankit, I think these are the questions which we addressed now.
Thank you, Mike. So, are there any other questions? If somebody has any queries, he can type.
Hope we answered the questions. If still someone do not have the clarity, they can put back in the chat again. We can discuss.
Mac, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mac, there is a private question like, what are the database supported?
Okay. So for the service ops, we are supporting the Postgres as the database. For Aiops, it's the proprietary database that we have created, which is a time series database in the system.
So, no, Aramal,
Okay,
is it the database that we have used into the solution or the database supported for monitoring?
No, I think the question is, what are the database supported for the monitoring?
Okay, for monitoring. Okay, so for monitoring, the system supports all the famous maker models, MS SQL, MySQL, Postgres, Oracle, SAP HANA. All these databases can be monitored here. And since, like Ankit highlighted, we have all the list of notable vendors already being monitored in the system, but we can always keep on adding the devices through our plugin driven architecture, so we can support if any other vendors are also there, we can easily support them.